Hi, everyone, and welcome inside the Devaney Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. We've got Big Ten women's gymnastics and a top 25 matchup. Michigan coming into Lincoln ranked 10th in the nation, and Nebraska coming off a really great home opener last week. They are in at number 22, and we've got the action for you right here on Big Ten Plus. Alongside Kenzie Roby, I am Jessica Cootie, and mentioned Nebraska coming off their highest home opening score since 2012. They posted season-high scores on all four team events. What was it with Nebraska last week that they were able to put together that kind of performance here their first time inside Devaney?
Yeah, so something that I was very impressed with was how they were able to keep their composure. There were a couple small mistakes here and there, but they kept it moving and they put together a really solid team score.
And Michigan, again, a national powerhouse in women's gymnastics. They've won 8 of the last 9 Big Ten championships, but it's been a bit of a different start for the Wolverines here to this 2024 season, and head coach Bev Plosky.
Yeah, so something with Michigan is that they are really testing those lineups. They're putting in some new faces with some underclassmen and really just trying to test their depth, which is great to do early on in the season. It allows you to get those nerves out of the way and really just go out there and have more confidence as the season goes on.
They have some names that you've heard about in women's gymnastics for a long time now, but they're also replacing quite a bit of routines. How much is that a process for every team? Just, you can't replace experience, right? No matter how much you practice, when you get to the competition floor, it's a lot different.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, for every single team, you've got to go through that pretty much every year when you've got seniors or grad students leaving. But again, with the new class coming in, the earlier you can get them out and competing, the better. That way they can get that experience.
So we will start here in rotation number 1 with Nebraska opening up on the vault and Michigan on the bars. Let's start with the vault. What are some of the things that the judges will be looking for here when they're scoring these vaults?
So definitely a major thing is going to be the landings. You want to really show control, and a new rule this year in the Code of Points is holding that salute for at least 1 second. If not, they can of course take a deduction, so really looking for that. And then also just clean gymnastics in the air, having good form, legs together, pointed toes, all of the typical things.
When you got to change like that in the rules, how much is that a process for a gymnast to get used to that when you've been doing something your whole entire life and your whole entire gymnastics career?
Yeah, well, with holding the salute, that is something that you do try and practice. So again, trying to pay a little bit more attention to it in the gym as well as when you're competing. That's kind of what you shoot for every single time. So just being able to do that while you're competing is just an amazing feeling.
All right, over on the bars, what are going to be some of the things that judges will be looking for in scoring the bars routines?
So over on the bars, again, clean gymnastics, wanting to see handstands and high release moves, as well as a stuck landing. You want to have a stuck landing on every single event, but those are some big things over there.
So for Nebraska, they are coming off, again, had a season high last week on the vault, the 49.225, and that's a goal, right? You want to get a team score over 49.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you can aim for. And again, starting out, you want that first person to be able to give the rest of the lineup some confidence. So having a great leadoff really helps the rest of that lineup and for them to be able to continue to build as that rotation goes on.
We saw 7 Huskers, or 7 different career highs last week here inside this building. 2 in this vault lineup with Martina Comine and Emma Spence. Another thing to keep an eye on here today, it's going to be fun to watch the all-around competition because we could see some fireworks really with some talented gymnasts competing for both teams in the all-around. All right, we are set to start rotation number 1, and leading things off for the Huskers on the vault is Sophia McClellan, the senior out of Carmelo, California.
She's doing Yurchenko full, just a slight hop on the landing, but a great height off the table.
Good start there for the Huskers. I believe we'll get another look at it here.
You can see there she doesn't quite absorb the landing fully, but again, a great start for Nebraska.
And leading things off for Michigan is Naomi Morrison. Last week had a 9.825, a two-time first-team All-Big Ten member.
Here she goes, starting off her routine. She does a Ginger release move, hitting that handstand on the high bar, doing an overshoot down to the low bar, and now she's going to be getting ready for that dismount. A great routine so far. See if she can find the landing, and she does. A stuck landing to start off the rotation for Michigan on bars.
Oh, what a start there. Great leadoff. That's what you want out of your leadoff, right?
Definitely. That will give the rest of that lineup some great confidence.
All right. Up next here for the Huskers is Kenzie Davis, and this is a gymnast that has been in the vault lineup, has had well over 9.9 multiple times in her career.
See if she can find the landing, and she sticks her Yurchenko full. That was an amazing vault from Kenzie Davis. Get the replay here.
So Sophia McClellan led things off for the Huskers with a 9.725, and typically, again, you like to see those scores build throughout the lineup, right?
Yes.
Up next on the bars for Michigan, this will be JC Vore, junior out of Fishers, Indiana. Last week had a 9.8. Her career high is a 9.925 on this event.
Having just a little bit of a wait time before she has to go.
Is this maybe a discussion on the scores? What could potentially be this kind of delay here?
Typically it is just a little bit of time to give those judges to flash the score. Looks like they just did.
Score is in for Kenzie Davis in the meantime, a 9.8 for her. So again, here is JC Vore for Michigan.
Starting off her routine with a Tkachev. Great height on her release move. A little short on that last handstand. Going in for her dismount now. A double layout. And just couldn't quite find that landing, but again, overall, a very good routine.
Naomi Morrison led things off with a 9.825. The Wolverines looking to build from there. And here is Asia Hall, the junior out of Rogers, Arkansas, for the Huskers.
Another Yurchenko full. Again, just a slight step on the landing. You can see that the tape lines over on the vault that can kind of help the judges see if the athlete is in line while they're flipping through the air.
So over on the bars, this will be Gabby Wilson.
Michigan has started off with two very strong bar routines.
Still waiting on that score from JC Vore.
Gabby starts out her routine mounting from in between the bars. Hitting that handstand nice on the high bar. Going in for a pike Jaeger. She had beautiful form on that. And this has been a wonderful routine so far. Just getting ready for her dismount now. She has hit every single handstand in this routine. Double layout. Just a step on the landing, but that was a phenomenal routine from Gabby Wilson.
So 9 9.7 for Asia Hall, and JC4, the scorer, is in for her as well, a 9.8. And here is Chang'e Baxquay.
And she did the Yurchenko 1.5, so that has a 10-0 start value.
Sophomore out of Budapest, Hungary. She qualified for the Olympics on this event for her home country of Hungary over the summer. 10-0 start value here, and she's going to be in the all-around competition for the first time this season here today.
Yes, very exciting. I can't wait to see what she is able to do on the rest of the events tonight.
Up next for Michigan, the freshman. This is one of those new faces for the Wolverines. Halen Zabrowski, the freshman out of Parkland, Florida. She's working back from a little bit of an injury, so just going to see her in the bars here today, but she's a talented freshman that Coach Bev Pulaski is very excited about.
And that was a puck salto down to the low bar. She is doing a great job so far, hitting that last handstand there. Double layout. Again, just a slight step on the landing, but overall a great routine, especially being a freshman and getting out there during your first year.
So Gabby Wilson had a 9.825 for the Wolverines. Chang'e with a 9.8. And here is Martina Comine coming off a career high 9.925 on this vault last week.
Martina will also be doing a Yurchenko 1.5. And just a little stiff leg on the landing. So when you're landing your vault, you kind of want to bend those knees just a little bit to allow yourself to absorb the landing. We'll get the replay here. And right there you can see, just needed to find that landing and absorb just a little bit more.
Here is Carly Bauman, team captain for the Wolverines. Last week tied a career high with a 9.95. She's a reigning Big Ten vault champion on this event.
A sky-high Jaeger into an immediate overshoot. That was beautifully done. A nice handstand up on the high bar. And then Carly does a unique dismount here. A double front. A great routine from Carly.
So Halen Zabrowski scores in at a 9.8. And in the anchor spot for the Huskers, here is Emma Spence, also coming off a career high on vault with a 9.95 last week.
Emma Spence is also going to be doing a Yurchenko 1.5. And just a little hop on her vault. That was again, a Yurchenko 1.5 that does start from that 10-0 start value. You can see there just a small hop, but there was pretty good form in the air.
Martina Comine had a 9.825 prior to Spence's vault. And up next in the anchor spot for the Wolverines, Sierra Brooks. 9.825 last week. Reigning Big Ten Gymnast of the Year.
Starting off her routine with a pike Jaeger. Overshoot down to the low bar. This has been a very solid routine so far. Getting that last handstand, and Sierra does a full twisting double layout and sticks the landing. That was an amazing routine.
Emma Spence had a 9.85 to finish things off for the Huskers, so their team score in at 49 even after rotation number 1. And this is the freshman Isabel Saikon getting an exhibition here for the Huskers. Kaylee Marr getting an exhibition opportunity here for Michigan.
And that exhibition spot can be very useful for every single team. It allows you to get that opportunity to do your routine under pressure with a crowd and see what potential score you would be getting. And she is doing a great job so far. Beautiful lines during this routine, gearing up for that dismount now. Double layout and a stuck landing. Such an exclamation point to that routine. All of her teammates giving her high fives after, looking very excited.
Yeah, when you talk about getting experience in this competition format, great opportunity to be able to step up and make the most of that opportunity in an exhibition spot, right?
For sure, and it also can help the coaches kind of decide where you could fit in the lineup moving forward.
So the final score for Michigan was Sierra Brooks. She is the first 9-9 of the day, so 9.9 for Sierra Brooks, and that will close out rotation at number 1. And Michigan with a slight lead over Nebraska, 49.175 over Nebraska at 49 even. So we will step aside for a break, but we've got more Big Ten women's gymnastics coming up here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back inside the Devaney Center alongside Kenzie Roby. I am Jessica Cootie. Rotation number 1 is in the books, and you can see right there 49 even for Nebraska after the rotation on the vault, and Michigan in at 49.175 here as rotation number 1 in the books. Here are a couple of the highlights from that rotation. This is Gabby Wilson, who ended up with a 9.825 for the Wolverines. Martina Comine for the Huskers, a 9.825 here. And in the anchor spot for Michigan was Sierra Brooks, the first 9.9 of the day. Big takeaways there from rotation number 1?
Yes, I think both teams started out really strong, and moving into the second rotation, I think they both are really going to want to hone in on some of the landings. We saw a few sticks from Michigan over on bars, as well as a couple sticks from Nebraska on vault. But again, every single 10th counts, so focusing in on those details. Hopefully with that first rotation out of the way, some of the nerves are also gone, and really just looking forward to a great second rotation.
All right, we head to rotation number 2 coming up next here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back inside the Devaney Center here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We head to rotation number 2. Michigan moves to the vault, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers over to the bars. There is a look at the lineup for the Michigan Wolverines, and here is a look at Nebraska Cornhuskers lineup here. They have, for Nebraska, have made a few changes at the beginning of the lineup here of the bars lineup, but those 3 that you see there at the end for the Huskers, Clara Colombo, Emma Spence, Kenzie Davis, have been staples in this lineup for a few years, to say the least.
Yes, for sure, and that's always great to be able to end your lineup with consistent routines that you know you can count on every single week. And again, like I've kind of mentioned earlier, starting off the rotation really strong is important, but you also want to end the rotation strong. So it's great to see them all in the lineup.
So again, Nebraska coming off a season high on the bars last week. Michigan here on the vault. Lead things off for us will be Reina Gino. She's a senior out of Tampa, Florida. Has recorded a 10 on this event. And visiting with head coach Bev Plocky. She is just so complimentary of the senior class and how they've continued to develop throughout their career. And now they're doing some of their best gymnastics of their entire career here this season.
Here she goes, starting off that vault rotation for Michigan. Yurchenko 1.5
Wow.
and a stuck landing. Look at that reaction.
There's that landing, one of those landings you were talking about.
Yes, that is a phenomenal start to their vault rotation. Getting that replay, you can see it again. And she just finds that landing.
Great start there for Michigan and Reina Gugino. And this, leading things off for Nebraska, is Chenge Maxway.
Starting off with a pack salto down to the low bar. She's going to go back up to the high bar now. Another release, very clean in the air. Getting ready for her dismount. A double layout, and I think that was a stick. There she goes, getting high fives from her team.
It's her first time in the bars lineup this season.
She held on to it there.
Great start there for the Huskers. Two great starts, both on vault and bars. Up next for the Wolverines is Jenna Mulligan, senior out of Fruit Cove, Florida.
And Jenna did a 1.5 vault as well.
And 9-9 for Reina Gugino to lead things off for the Wolverines.
Something that I love about Jenna's vault was the height that she got off of the table.
Here is Emma Simpton for the Huskers, junior out of Prosper, Texas. A 9.85 last week.
Emma starting her routine, solid with hitting her handstand. Up to the high bar and then a pack salto immediately down to the low bar. She did have a break in the routine. You saw that extra kip. Fortunately, a fall.
Maybe just out of rhythm there.
Yeah, it looks like she, on her pack salto, caught the bar a little close. Which, losing your rhythm on the bars it's hard to get back once that happens.
She gets set to back up on the bars. Chenge led things off with a 9.85.
Emma just has her dismount left. She's going to be doing a double layout. There's that dismount. Great recovery.
So what kind of pressure does this put on the rest of the lineup here?
Yeah, it definitely adds a little bit, but hopefully that the rest of the lineup is prepared for this and they can go out there and just do what they normally do.
Here is Naomi Morrison on the vault for Michigan, had a 9.95 last week.
Another solid Yurchenko 1.5. So Michigan starting off their rotation with 3 10-0 start values.
Jenna Mulligan also had a 9.75 for the Wolverines prior to Naomi. All right, and up next for the Huskers, here is Whitney Jenks, freshman out of Madison, South Dakota. 9.725 last week. This is one of the freshmen, this freshman class that Heather Brink is really, really excited about. Big spot here for her to follow up a fall and get the Huskers back on track.
Yeah. She goes starting her routine. Holding on to her handstand there. And a great release move. Going back up to the high bar. All she has left is her dismount. She does a double layout and a stuck landing. Getting things right back on track for the Huskers.
It's ice in the veins for the freshmen, right?
Yes, that is great to see, especially from an underclassman.
Quickly back over to the vault here. This is Gabby Wilson. Get another look at it here.
And it looks like she just opened up a little too soon, wasn't able to find that landing. But again, stayed on her feet, which is incredibly important. So
Naomi Morrison had a 9.8 on the vault prior to Wilson. And getting set here is Clara Colombo. She's a bars specialist. This is a great routine, right?
yes, Clara has a very unique bar routine, something that you don't typically see in NCAA gymnastics. She's going to do what's called an eagle grip throughout her routine, which requires extensive shoulder flexibility. And as she gets her routine started, I'll point that out.
9.8 for Whitney Jinks. See the score there for Gabby Wilson in 9.625.
Clara starting off her bar routine. And immediately, as you see right there, going into an eagle grip piked Jaeger. A pec salto down to the low bar. And again, take a look at this dismount. A double front with a half twist. Just a little, see the replay here.
You're just trying a little too hard to get that
I
stick.
think so, just looking for the ground a little too early there.
Here is Ava Jordan in that anchor spot for Michigan. Sorry, that was Sierra Brooks. Sierra Brooks and then Ava Jordan.
So you're doing a Yurchenko 1.5, just a slight hop on the landing, but great height off of the table.
Seven-time first-team All-American for Sierra Brooks. This will be Emma Spence for the Huskers. A 9.925 on this event last week. Career high is a 9.975.
It looks like she is getting the bars all ready to go.
She'll be in the all-around competition as well. We'll be keeping an eye on that as we go along throughout this competition.
Goes starting off her routine, doing a chapoche to pec salto. Immediately back up to the high bar there. A great routine so far, just the dismount. And she finds the landing. A great routine from Emma Spence.
Great landing. That's another landing you're talking about there for the Huskers on the bars. This is Ava Jordan, who is in the anchor spot for Michigan. Here's another look at that. Freshman out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
And that is a Yurchenko full.
And to close things out for the Huskers, Kenzie Davis. This is one of the best bar routines in the country, one of the top bar workers in the country. She had a career high 9.975 a couple weeks ago. And for that, she was the Big Ten co-event specialist of the week. Reworked her routine this season. Worked really, really hard, and also in the mental aspect of it too, but certainly this is a routine that's capable of a 10.
Yes, for sure. Starting off her routine, hits that first handstand. Overshoot back down to the low bar. See if she can hit that handstand on the high bar. There she goes. She's going to do a double layout dismount here. Just a slight hop on the landing, but overall, a great routine.
So 98.75 for Emma Spence. We'll wait on Davis's score here. Final Husker here in this bars lineup. We will see an exhibition from Emily Frost. No exhibition for Michigan on the vault. Ava Jordan did finish things off for Michigan with a 9.7. I think probably if you ask both these coaches, if we did a mid-meet interview, both of them maybe wanting both teams maybe settle in, relax a little bit, maybe trying a little hard.
Well, I think one thing that's important to point out is it is still very early on in the season. It takes some time to kind of find your groove and get confident with the routines.
So there was a fall for the Huskers from Emma Simpton. That was 8.95, and then Clark Lumbo had a 9.5. Again, this is Emily Frost here with an exhibition routine for the Huskers.
And she is doing a great job so far. Getting ready for her dismount. I believe she does a double layout. And that was a very solid routine from Emily Frost.
Kinsey Davis closed things out for the Huskers with a 9.875. So currently, Nebraska at 97.9, Michigan 98.15. So we will head to rotation number 3 coming up here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back inside the Devaney Center. 2 rotations in the books. You see the overall scores here. Nebraska with a 97.9 team score. Michigan with the lead with a 98.150. Before we head to rotation number 3, we take a look at some of the highlights from that second rotation. And we start with Reina Gugino here, the senior in the leadoff spot with a 9.9, the only 9.9 in that rotation for Michigan. Great vault for her. And on the uneven bars, this is Change Axquay competing in the all-around competition. She led things off with a 9.85, and then the freshman, following a fall, scores a 9.8 for the Huskers there. So good, solid rotation there, but I think, again, for both coaches, they'll probably want to see them settle in here as we head to rotation number 3. But big takeaways there from rotation number 2.
Yes, again, like we just saw Reina's vault, I think that was definitely a highlight to start off Michigan's vault rotation. That was a beautifully stuck Yurchenko 1.5. And again, there were still some great bar routines over from Nebraska on the bars.
All right, so we will head to rotation number 3. Michigan heads to the floor, Nebraska to the beam. Keep it here on Big Ten Plus. Great crowd on hand here inside the Devaney Center. It is Pepsi Pack the Place Day. Fantastic show out here for Husker fans. We head to rotation number 3. Nebraska heads to the beam. See the lineup there. They will be led off by the freshman, Isabel Saikon. And in the anchor spot, Sophia McClellan coming off a career high on this event. And on the floor here is a look at the lineup for the Wolverines. This should be a treat. They love performing on the floor. Tell us some of the things that judges will be looking for here on scoring on this rotation.
Yeah, so for the beam, definitely wanting to see clean routines, minimizing those wobbles, and, you know, seeing that confidence. You can always tell when somebody is very confident up on the balance beam. And over on the floor exercise, seeing some big tumbling while also controlling the landings and showing off all of their dance, getting to kind of display their personalities throughout their floor routines.
So to lead things off for the Huskers here in this rotation is the freshman Isabel Saikon out of San Antonio, Texas. And that's a kind of a big ask for a freshman, right? To lead things off on the beam.
Yes, definitely can be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Coach Brink said, though, she is very capable of delivering in high-pressure situations. Calm, cool, collected. So, spot she is very comfortable in.
She does a very unique mount there. Again, you always want somebody that can start off that lineup really strong and just kind of let the rest of the lineup have that confidence moving forward. Doing her series, a back handspring layout, step out. She was able to hold on to it there. Leap a switch half. Isabel should be getting ready for her dismount soon. A back handspring tuck, 1.5, a stuck landing.
Pretty solid start there for the Huskers.
Yes, that was a great first routine for their beam rotation. See that stuck landing there again.
And to start things off on the floor for Michigan, this is Carly Bauman, the senior out of West Des Moines, Iowa. Clean, beautiful exhibition, or execution, says Coach Bev. Loves watching her here on this floor. Career high 9925.
Here Carly goes, going for her first tumbling pass, a front handspring front double twist, very nicely done. A great leap pass, so she just did 2 wolf fulls in a row on that leap pass.
Michigan lineup, floor lineup is really driven by upperclassmen, all seniors in this lineup.
1.5 front layout. A good landing on that pass as well. Great first routine for Michigan from Carly Bauman to start off their rotation. Seeing that last pass again, a back 1.5 to a front layout.
So Isabel Saikon led things off for the Huskers at the 9.725. Following her, this is Allie Gard. 9.75 last week in her season debut.
Allie can be so confident up on the beam. Hoping to see that here today as she gets her routine going.
Sophomore out of Round Rock, Texas.
She's gonna do a back handspring back layout. To a split jump there. That was beautiful. You don't see that very often.
Love the smile too.
connection there. I think she was able to keep it moving. That was a big connection. Getting ready for her dismount, a gainer pike off the end. Another stuck landing. Getting that momentum going for the Huskers over on beam.
Another look at that dismount there. Stuck landing there for Allie Gard. Great routine for her. All right, moving back over to the floor. This is Jenna Mulligan. And Coach Plotke saying you could have seen the difference between her performance as a freshman to now as a senior. Dance quality is outstanding.
Right, take a look at her first pass, a punch front through a double back. A unique leap pass there. I love the artistry that she is showing during this floor routine. She is a very beautiful dancer. Getting ready for another tumbling pass. Back double pike. A great routine from Jenna. She had two very strong tumbling passes in that routine.
So prior to Jenna Mulligan, Carly Bauman had a 9.9. And back over to the beam. Here is Chenge Squay. Last week had a 9.7.
Chenge does a triple series.
Sophomore season, she talked about how much just her freshman year figuring out how to compete in collegiate gymnastics, and you're seeing her perform with a lot more confidence, and she's enjoying it and enjoying performing here with the Huskers.
Yes, and I think that she is showing that here today during her routine. This has been a great start so far.
She follows up Allie Gard's 9.7.
All right, getting ready for a dismount. She's going to do a round off double full, just a small step on the landing, but overall a very strong routine from Chenge.
Second look there at that dismount. Back over to the floor. Here's another senior, Reina Gugino. She upgraded her tumbling this year. One of those seniors that Coach Bev talked about having her best career here in her senior season, continue to develop and performing so well. I love how with Michigan so far, as we've seen, we'll continue to see very unique, and every gymnast maybe a different routine, matching their personalities and styles.
And she started that first pass off. That was a great tumbling pass. And like you were saying about the floor routines, it is important to kind of find what is going to work with the gymnast. So not everybody is has the same kind of dance style or prefers the same kind of music. So the athletes actually get to pick that out themselves.
Because that's a big part of it, right? The performance part of it.
Yes, of course. Getting ready for her next tumbling pass here. A front layout to front 1.5.
fun routine there from Raina. So Jenna Mulligan had a 9.825 prior to Raina. Tumbling pass there.
Great landing on that first pass.
Jenge had a 9.8 on the beam for the Huskers, and this is Asia Hall coming off a career-high 9.9 on the beam last week. Which Brink said one of the most talented athletes we've had here at Nebraska. Is continuing to gain confidence here in her junior season.
Here she goes, getting ready for her series. A back handspring layout step out. And she did just miss the beam a little bit.
Her foot just slipped off the side there.
Yeah. Doing a beautiful front aerial. She just jumped right back up there and is getting her routine back right on track. Jump series. Going for her dismount now, round off 1.5. She did a great job recovering from that fall and picking her routine right back up and finishing very strong.
So Emma Spence will be up next for the Huskers, looking to get things back on track as we move back over to the floor. Here is Naomi Morrison. You're going to see a lot of personality in this one.
Naomi going in for her first pass, a full in. That was beautifully done. Leap series, great height on that. She is really able to push through her toes, getting great amplitude off the floor.
See how much she loves performing this event. I like this music.
Going in for her last tumbling pass, a front through to double tuck, and great landings on both of her tumbling passes.
Great routine there from Naomi Morrison. Raina Giugino had a 9.825 for the Wolverines prior to Naomi's routine there. 9.25 for Asia Hall following that fall. But is there any performer or any athlete you'd want following a fall more than Emma Spence?
Yeah, she has typically been very, very solid. That is an uncharacteristic mistake.
That was an announcer's jinx. I apologize for that. It's not something you see much from Emma there.
No, the Huskers definitely are going to want to just find their composure, take a deep breath, get things back on track. Emma recovers well, doing a beautiful series. And sometimes to start a routine off with a fall, it takes a lot of mental concentration to get back up there, be able to finish your routine. So for any athlete, mistakes are bound to happen, but getting back up there and being able to do an amazing job is such a great accomplishment. There she goes, round off 1.5.
So the Huskers will have to count a fall. They've had a couple of those back-to-back from Asia Hall and Emma Spence. Another look at the dismount. And a couple of incredible routines here we're going to get to see from Michigan to close out their lineup. Here is Sierra Brooks
And Sierra starts her routine off with a sky-high full in. We're gonna see that here soon.
Changed the technique on this season, right?
Yes, she does not grab her leg, so you're gonna see that here. Does it completely open and even has a little bit of power out of it. She's able to control that landing very well. Sierra is definitely a performer. She's very strong on all 4 events.
She's gotten a 10 on this event. AAI winner in 2023. She's the epitome of a student athlete, the SAC president for Michigan this season too.
Finishing that floor routine with ease.
Wow.
Beautiful routine from Sierra.
Great routine there for Michigan. To close things out, there's one more look there at stumbling pass.
That was sky high there.
So here is Sophia McClellan, coming off a career high 9.95 on this event last week.
Sophia starting with a double wolf turn. Those are extremely hard to do, even on the floor. So doing it on the balance beam is even more tricky. She's gonna get ready for her series now, doing a back handspring layout step out here. Very solid on that. Going into her jump series. She took her eyes off the beam on that jump series, so anytime that you do that, it is a little bit more difficult. Of course, you're not being able to look at the beam while you're doing your skill. Just getting ready for her dismount now, back handspring 1.5. Just the smallest of a hop on the landing, but overall a very nice routine from Sophia McClellan. Seeing that dismount there one more time.
There is a hit routine, but the Huskers will have to count a fall in that rotation on the balance beam. And we close things out on the floor with Gabby Wilson, another lights out athlete on this event. Pair of 9.925s she follows up. Coach Bev Plotke told me the dance part of this, if you would have seen her senior year high school routine to now, you wouldn't believe it's the same person.
And she also does a full in without grabbing her legs. Those are incredibly difficult.
Fun choreography.
Going into a leap pass here. Great flexibility on those.
Score there for Sophia McClellan, a 9.85.
Gabby's gonna get ready for another tumbling pass. Front layout to front, 1.5.
Oh, that was a fun rotation there on the floor for Michigan. Coach Plotke told me they love to perform on floor. I think we saw that just there. Great rotation there for Michigan. The 9th ranked team on the floor exercise in the country.
And we've got an exhibition on beam for Nebraska.
Lauren Homicello.
Starting off with a triple series. That was beautifully done there. And I love the rhythm that she is having so far during this routine. Taking her time on every single skill. I believe getting ready for that dismount now. Round off 1.5. That was a very solid routine. Definitely one that you could potentially see in the lineup moving forward.
So in an exhibition here for Michigan is JC Vore. Gabby Wilson closed things out with a 9.875. So the Wolverines with the team score 49.45.
JC started off with a double pike there. Been a fun routine so far. Here she goes for her last tumbling pass. A back 1.5 to a front full.
Nice exhibition routine there from JC Vore for the Michigan Wolverines. All right, that closes out rotation number 3 here inside the Devaney Center. Michigan with the lead over Nebraska, 147.6 to 146.225. We're back with more from inside the Devaney Center here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back inside the Devaney Center here in Lincoln, Nebraska, alongside Kenzie Roby. I am Jessica Cootie. We take a look here at the overall meet status and the team scores. After rotation number 3, Nebraska on the beam with a 48.325. They did have to count a fall there in that rotation. Michigan with a great rotation on the floor, 49.450, and they have the lead over Nebraska heading into the 4th and final rotation. As we take a look at some of the highlights from that last rotation, this is the freshman Isabel Sycon leading things off for the Huskers with a 9.725. And over on the floor, Carly Bauman led things off for Michigan with a 9.9. Great routine from her. And then Jenna Mulligan added a 9.825. Naomi Morrison had a 9.925 and Sierra Brooks a 9.925. So again, a great rotation for Michigan there on the floor. All right, coming up next, we head to our 4th and final rotation with Nebraska heading to the floor and Michigan to the beam. We head to our 4th and final rotation here inside the Devaney Center alongside Kenzie Roby. I'm Jessica Cootie. Here is a look at the Michigan beam lineup. That says the floor, but we're headed now to the beam. Jenna Mulligan will be leading things off for the Wolverines, and they will be anchored by Sierra Brooks. And on the floor, the Huskers will be led by Whitney Jinks, the freshman. And Nebraska could say that this has been the highlight of their season so far. They certainly have been very, very strong on floor throughout this entire, to open up the season with all 3 meets this year. They are ranked 12th in the nation on floor. So this is a strong lineup for the Huskers. And again, had to kind of fall on the beam. So what's the conversation here from Heather Brink and this coaching staff to the Huskers as they head into the floor lineup?
Yeah, so I think one thing is just to put the mistakes behind you. You've got to be able to flip the page. The meet is definitely not over yet, and you want to be able to finish out the night strong. So just going and doing the best routines that you possibly can on the next event.
So Jenna Mulligan will lead things off for the Wolverines. We mentioned her story, just a fantastic story that she came to Michigan and worked so hard, worked really, really hard, made just tremendous progress, and now here she is in the leadoff spot. And Coach Bev's telling us that she's just been rock solid. Just worked her tail off to get herself into this position here for her senior season.
She is starting off this routine with confidence. You can just tell by her dance, being very precise with every single movement. A front aerial through to back handspring. Solid series.
How about the pace?
Yeah, I think that she has very dynamic movement. She has a little bit of a faster rhythm than you see some athletes do, but it is definitely working for her. Side aerial there. She's gonna get ready to do her dismount. Back handspring, back 1.5. Holds on to that landing there, and she looks very excited with that routine.
Great start there for Michigan on the beam by Jenna Mulligan. Here is another look at that dismount. And over to the floor to lead things off for the Huskers is the freshman, Whitney Jinks. Had a 9.825 last week, which is a career high. Again, another freshman in the leadoff spot for the Huskers.
Gets her routine started with a front layout, front 1.5. She's handled the pressure of being in that leadoff spot very well. We saw her in this spot on floor a couple times now this season. She's getting ready for her next tumbling pass. You run off back handspring, double tuck. Was able to stand that up. And finish out with a strong lead-off routine.
Whitney Jinks there in the leadoff spot for the Huskers. Another look at a tumbling pass here. So Jenna Mulligan led things off for the Wolverines with a 9.8. Here is Reina Giugino, senior out of Tampa, Florida.
Getting ready for her series. Back handspring layout, step out.
The career high on this event last week with a 9.875.
Straddle jump to a straddle half for her jump series. And she does a side summy. You don't see that very often in college gymnastics. dismount here. Another back handspring, 1.5. Is able to find that landing. We'll see that again. Plants her feet and does not move.
2 hit routines there for Michigan to start. You're in rotation number 4. Moving over to the floor. We have a little bit of a discussion going on here. We Haley O'Rourke for the Huskers. Hometown Husker. Hometown Husker out of Waverly, Nebraska.
Hallie getting her routine started with a front through to a double tuck.
New floor choreography here for her, and she is a great performer.
Leap pass, switch half to a straddle full with a wolf full. So something important to talk about for floor exercises, you see a lot of athletes doing 2-pass floor routines. And in order to do that, you do have to have some added difficulty. So you will see some athletes adding in an extra combination to their leap pass or doing a little bit harder of maybe one of their tumbling passes in order to still start from that 10-0 score. He finishes with a double pike. Just opened up a little too soon, but it was able to recover.
So before Hallie, Whitney Jinks led things off for the Huskers on the floor with a 9.825. Raina Giugino added a 9.875 for Michigan on the beam. There's that tumbling pass. This is Gabby Wilson on beam now for the Wolverines.
Gabby's getting ready for her series. Another back handspring layout, step out. A slight wobble on that. Gabby has had a great routines so far on all of her other events, so looking to finish out the competition strong here on the beam. Getting ready for her dismount. Take a look at this, a round off double back. Just a small step, but that is an incredibly hard dismount to do.
Let's take another look at it.
A double back, those are very hard to do on the floor. So just imagine doing that off of a 4-inch balance beam, incredibly difficult.
Hallie Rourke had a 9.725 for the Huskers, and this is Chenge Baxway competing in the all-around today, for the first time this season for the Huskers. 9.95, career high last week.
Chenge is definitely a performer. She's going to open up with a back 2.5 to a front tuck. Very nicely done there. leap pass, switch side to a straddle full. Great flexibility in the air.
Huskers assistant coach Marissa King has done a great job with all this choreography for the Huskers this season.
Yes, it definitely takes a lot of practice to be able to go out there and be confident with your routine. So I'm sure both teams spend a lot of time working on that artistry. Chingae's getting ready for her final tumbling pass. A double pike. Stuck. She did not even need a step back on that landing.
That is a confident athlete that you're seeing right now.
Definitely. And getting all of those high fives from her teammate, you can see they are very happy with that floor routine.
Great tumbling pass there. Let's take another look at that. Gabby Wilson at a 9.775 for Michigan. Now this is JC Vore. Just talked about Marissa King for the Huskers. Coach Bev Pluck giving a lot of credit to Myliana Kaneva, the assistant coach for Michigan, who choreographs all the routines for the Wolverines, and again tailoring each routine to the gymnasts, how they like to perform, their rhythms, all of that.
Jenna is doing a great job. JC is doing a great job starting off her beam routine. Front toss there, very solid. Straddle jump to a straddle half and a little beat jump added to the end. Just the dismount left. Round off back 1.5. I loved how solid she was throughout that entire routine. Another great routine for Michigan.
Another look at the dismount. So Chingae Baxquay had a 9.9, and this is Martina Comine.
This is also a very fun floor routine. Martina does a great job of showing off her entire routine. You'll see that here.
Another great performer for the Huskers. A 9.875 last week, but did have a career high 2 weeks ago, 9.925 on this event.
She opens up with a full in. Great landing on that, showing good control. And there you saw that extra jump series on her leap pass. Martina also does a 2-pass routine, so she's getting ready for her last pass. Back 1.5 to front layout. Good control on both of her tumbling passes.
Great routine there from Martina Comine for Nebraska. Another look at that last tumbling pass. Right into the dance. That's what you're supposed to do, right? This is Carly Bauman for Michigan.
And Carly is always so solid on beam. I am excited to see what she does here now.
She follows up JC Vore's 9.825.
Starting off backhand spring layout. Jump series to Sone into a switch half and a beat jump. Great connection on that. You could see that she really kept the rhythm going. A pike side summy. So we saw a regular side summy earlier, and the difference with that one was Carly kept her legs straight. So a very unique skill to see on the beam. Getting ready for her dismount. A gainer pike, and she holds on to the landing.
9-8 for Martina Comine, and here is Sophia McClellan. She loves to perform.
Sophia is starting off with a front double twist for her first tumbling pass. A leap series switch half to straddle full, an extra straddle jump there. Going into the last tumbling pass, a front 1.5 to a back layout. We did see she went out of bounds there, so that will be an added deduction.
What causes that when you step out of bounds?
Sometimes it's just having a little bit too much power. The competition floor can be a little bit more bouncy than what they normally train on. And also, it looked like her timing was just a little bit off, so maybe missing that punch like she normally does.
Carly Bowman had a 9.875 for Michigan, and here is Sierra Brooks to anchor things off on the beam.
A triple series by handspring layout. Sierra has also had a phenomenal competition so far. Very solid on every single event.
On pace to win yet another all-around title here today.
Front toss there. No wobbles throughout this entire routine. Gonna get ready for her dismount. A back handspring, double twist. See that smile there? I think she's pretty happy with that routine.
And in the anchor spot here for the Huskers is Emma Spence. 9-9 last week.
Emma also has a very fun floor routine. We start off with a punch front through to double tuck. You see here, she does a double wolf turn on the floor. Pass, great flexibility on those. Hitting a full 180-degree split. Going in for her final tumbling pass, a double pike. Holds on to that landing there.
Strong finish there for the Huskers on the floor by Emma Spence. Sierra Brooks, the 9.925 on the beam. Naomi Morrison will perform an exhibition routine here for the Wolverines on beam.
Naomi starts with that back handspring layout, step out very solid on that. A switch half for a leap. A nice jump there. She's looking very confident so far. Getting ready for the dismount now here. She does a round off back 1.5. A very solid routine from Naomi.
Finishing on floor for your Huskers, Allie Gard.
Here is Allie Gard for Nebraska in an exhibition routine.
Allie opens up with a double pike. Great landing right there. It's good to see both teams really using those exhibition spots, allowing those athletes to get more experience. Allie's next tumbling pass, a front layout to front full. It looks like she's going to be doing a 3-pass floor routine here, so getting ready for that last tumbling pass. A double tuck. Hold her chest up there. Able to finish off strong.
Great routine there from Allie Gard and an exhibition routine on floor for Nebraska.
Seeing that tumbling pass one more time. Was her double tuck for the last pass.
So that will do it. Nebraska finishing with an overall team score of 195.275, and Michigan with a victory today, 196.9. We're going to step aside and we'll be back to wrap things up with some final thoughts and final scores from here inside the Devaney Center on Big Ten Plus.
And that concludes the final rotation with
Welcome back inside the Devaney Center here in Lincoln, Nebraska, alongside Kenzie Roby. I'm Jessica Cootie, and we are set for the awards ceremony here at the conclusion of today's meet. Again, Nebraska 195-275, and Michigan with the victory today, 196.9. Reina Giugino wins the vault here this afternoon with a 9.9, and the rest of the awards, you're going to hear that name a lot. Sierra Brooks wins every other event here today. She wins the bars with a 9.9, beam with a 9.925, and floor with a 9.925. I mean, there's a reason why she's one of the best gymnasts in the country, right?
Yes, she is a very experienced athlete. A very long list of accomplishments in the gym as well as outside of the gym.
So there's a tie there on the floor. Naomi Morrison and Sierra Brooks. And the all-around title also goes to Sierra Brooks with the overall score of 39.575. But one thing to note for Nebraska, we've talked about this a lot throughout the day, but Chenge Boxquay competing in the all-around for the first time, and she finishes second with a score of 39.35. Oh, that's certainly one of the highlights today. Chenge and how she was able to perform on all 4 events for the Huskers today.
For sure. She had a very strong all-around competition, hitting 4 for 4 routines for her first time, so that was exciting to see.
So still early in the season, just the 4th meet for both these teams, and both coaches said that there's a lot to work on, but a lot of positives certainly that they'll take away from today. Can you break down a few of those for us?
So I think for Nebraska, going from the beam to the floor and kind of turning the page, doing some great floor routines to end the competition. And Michigan being able to, not count a single fall in any event. That's always a great thing for any competition, and looking to continue to do that throughout the season.
So again, your final score here today, Michigan 196.9. team score, and Nebraska 195.275. Up next for Michigan, they've got Michigan State next Sunday, February 4th, and Nebraska will be on the road at Iowa next Sunday, February 4th. Want to send a thanks to our great Husker Vision crew running the cameras here inside Devaney, and also the crew over at Husker Vision. And for my partner, Kenzie Roby, I'm Jessica Cootie. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and weekend.